Imagine a grand party, tables set, music playing, lights twinkling, where excitement fills the air and guests from all over the world are expected to arrive. But suddenly, the host becomes distant, even unwelcoming, leaving everyone at the door, unsure if they're wanted. That's America today, July 3, 2025, a nation once celebrated for its hospitality, now sending mixed signals to the world. Once the world's top destination, the U.S. is now witnessing a dramatic decline in international visitors, its sharpest drop since the global financial crisis, and the effects are visible everywhere. The welcome mat has been pulled away, and the world is noticing. Tourists who once flocked to American cities are now hesitating, or choosing other destinations altogether. This isn't just about empty hotel rooms or vacant attractions, it's a fundamental shift in how the world perceives America's openness and warmth. For the first time, the U.S. is losing its share of the global tourism market, a blow to an industry that supports millions of jobs, from hotel staff to tour guides and small business owners. In 2019, international visitors spent $230 billion in the U.S., fueling local economies and supporting communities nationwide. By 2025, that number could fall below $169 billion, a staggering $12 billion loss in just 1 year, with ripple effects that reach far beyond tourism. These aren't just numbers, they represent lost jobs, canceled business plans, shuttered storefronts, and growing uncertainty for families who depend on tourism. What's most troubling? Much of this crisis is self-inflicted. Aggressive tariffs, ongoing trade wars, and a hostile political tone have sent a clear message. America is closing its doors, making it harder for visitors to feel welcome or even gain entry. Tourists are listening, and they're taking their money, their curiosity, and their goodwill elsewhere, leaving America's tourism industry at a crossroads. America's tourism slump stands in stark contrast to a global travel boom. In 2025, airports from Paris to Sydney are packed, airlines are adding routes, and destinations are breaking visitor records. While the world is eager to travel, the U.S. is being left behind. International arrivals to the U.S. fell by nearly 12% in March, while other countries saw double-digit growth. The issue isn't a lack of wanderlust, it's a reluctance to visit America. Tourists from Europe, Asia, and even Canada and Mexico are choosing other destinations. The world's travelers want places that feel open and welcoming. America's current climate projects the opposite. The result? A $50 billion travel trade deficit. Americans are spending more abroad than visitors are spending here. For decades, the U.S. enjoyed a tourism surplus. Now, it's losing its competitive edge. While Americans explore the world is hesitating to explore America. The message is clear: this is a uniquely American problem. America's tourism crisis is rooted in policy choices, especially aggressive tariffs and trade wars. In 2025, steep tariffs on Canada and Mexico were seen as hostile, prompting those countries to discourage travel to the U.S. Political rhetoric perceived as isolationist has made the U.S. seem unpredictable and unwelcoming. Visa wait times in key markets now stretch over 400 days, making travel planning nearly impossible. Even with a visa, stories of tough border questioning and denied entry have spread, deterring visitors. The U.S. offers visa-free access to just 43 countries compared to the UK's 102. Add a strong dollar, and the U.S. becomes an expensive, difficult, and uninviting destination. Tourists are choosing places where their money goes further, and where they feel welcome. The barriers, both real and perceived, are driving visitors away. The sharpest declines in international visitors are coming from America's closest friends and neighbors, a trend that's sending shockwaves through the travel industry and border communities alike. Canada, once the top source of U.S. tourists and a vital economic partner, saw travel drop nearly 20% after new tariffs and stricter entry requirements were introduced. In May 2025, car trips from Canada fell 38%, air travel 24%, a staggering $2.1 billion loss for border towns that depend on Canadian visitors for their livelihoods. Mexico's air arrivals are down 23%, hurting cities like San Diego and Phoenix, where tourism dollars once fueled local businesses and jobs. The chill is real. Fewer shoppers, diners, and cross-border connections mean empty storefronts and struggling local economies. The EU responded to U.S. tariffs with its own, and updated travel advisories now warn Europeans that entry to the U.S. isn't guaranteed, making many think twice before booking a trip. Arrivals from Western Europe are down 17%, while American travel to Europe is booming, creating a striking imbalance in transatlantic tourism. China, once a fast-growing market for U.S. tourism, has nearly stopped sending tourists, citing security concerns, rising hostility, and a lack of welcome. The message from key markets is clear. U.S. policies and rhetoric have made it a less attractive and sometimes riskier place to visit. Many are choosing other destinations. The result is a one-sided flow. Americans travel out in record numbers, but the world, once eager to visit, now stays away. America's former allies are voting with their passports, sending a powerful signal about the changing face of global travel and diplomacy. The tourism crisis is hitting American industries hard. Airlines are cutting flights to U.S. cities, reallocating planes to more profitable routes abroad. Tariffs have raised costs for U.S. airlines, forcing them to cut services or raise prices. Hotels in tourist hotspots like Las Vegas are seeing mass cancellations from Europe and Asia. Lower occupancy means layoffs for hotel staff, from concierges to housekeepers. Tour bus companies are slashing schedules, and guides fluent in foreign languages are out of work. Restaurants and attractions from Broadway to theme parks are feeling the pinch. The entire tourism ecosystem is weakened, link by the absence of international visitors. This isn't just a dip, it's a sustained crisis. The ripple effects are being felt in every corner of the industry. The pain of the tourism crisis is most acute in small towns and local communities, where every visitor counts and every dollar spent can make the difference between survival and closure. In Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, hotel bookings have dropped 70% as Canadian visitors vanish. Once busy hotels now sit nearly empty, and the ripple effect is felt in every corner of the town, from restaurants to souvenir shops. In Flagstaff, Arizona, a 15% drop in foreign tourists means fewer rentals, meals, and sales for local businesses. Restaurants that once bustled with international guests now face empty tables, and shop owners worry about making rent. These aren't just numbers, they're lost jobs and shuttered shops. Each closure represents a family's dream put on hold and a community losing a piece of its identity. Political decisions in Washington have direct, painful impacts on families far away. Policies made in distant offices can mean the difference between a paycheck and an unemployment line for people you'll never meet. Even in big cities, the effects are personal. Tour bus companies in Las Vegas are laying off drivers, and guides are losing work. The city's famous energy feels muted as livelihoods are put on pause. In North Carolina, international visitors, mostly Canadians, once spent $1.2 billion a year. That's now at risk, threatening not just big attractions but also the small businesses that rely on steady streams of travelers. No region is immune. From the Canadian border to the southwest, Main Street is paying the price. The absence of tourists is felt in every empty sidewalk and every quiet storefront. The loss of international tourism is more than an economic statistic. It's a local crisis. It's about neighbors losing jobs, families moving away, and communities struggling to hold on. Every lost visitor means less money circulating in communities that depend on tourism. The impact is felt in every empty cash register and every business forced to close its doors. The consequences are deeply personal, and recovery won't be easy. For many, the path forward is uncertain, and the hope of a return to normal feels distant. America's global image is now a local problem, and the effects of international politics are being felt on every street in every small town across the nation. As the U.S. stumbles, other countries are seizing the moment. France, Spain, Japan, and Australia are rolling out the red carpet with aggressive campaigns. "You are welcome here." They're making travel easy, fast-track visas, expanded waivers, and smooth airport experiences. Economic incentives like tax-free shopping and package deals make these destinations even more attractive. The formula is simple: a welcoming message, easy access, and good value. While the U.S. builds barriers, competitors are tearing them down. The lack of a positive U.S. message has left a void, filled by news of political tension and tough borders. Tourists are choosing the path of least resistance, countries that want their business. In the global tourism race, America's rivals are winning. America's tourism crisis is serious, but not irreversible. Recovery starts with a new tone. Leaders must send a sincere message of welcome to the world. Clearing visa backlogs and expanding the visa waiver program are urgent steps. The U.S. must also reconsider tariffs and trade wars that have triggered retaliation. A national strategy should promote affordable destinations beyond the big cities. Major events like the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics are chances to showcase a renewed, welcoming America. But waiting for those events isn't enough. The work must begin now. By combining a friendlier tone, smarter policies, and a focus on hospitality, the U.S. can turn the tide. The world is watching. Will America reopen its doors? The future of American tourism depends on the choices made today.